Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we've got some long-term reviews to go over. I haven't done a long-term review video in a while, and normally I do it with the desktop view, but today I figured we'd do something a little bit different. So we've got 10 knives that we're going to be taking a look at, and these are knives that have had full reviews on the channel in the past. But they're knives that I continue to carry. Obviously not everything I review sticks around. Not everything I review I have a chance to do a long-term review update on, but these are some of the exceptions. So let's go ahead and jump right into this without any further ado. Starting off with the Bestech bowie tie. If you guys have seen my full review of this knife, this was kind of a grail knife for me. And I love it. I love this knife a lot. I continue to carry it. There's so much about this knife that is so good. The ergonomics are nice. That bowie blade is just wicked looking. Love the bolster lock. Carbon fiber is nice. It is a very premium feeling knife, which is good. It looks classy, great action. And especially for someone like me who is a bowie knife enthusiast, this is kind of a no-brainer. So really happy to say that this knife has been everything I was hoping it would be. The M390 blade seems to be heat treated pretty well, honestly. Haven't had any issues. Well, I have had issues with chipping, but that's kind of be expected from M390. That's heat treated to an appropriate HRC. Not that it's like gonna chip every single time you use it, but I did notice, like one time I was breaking down some cardboard and I hit something in the cardboard and I did chip the edge, which, yeah, it's a pain to fix that, but I'll let you know that the steel at least isn't, you know, super soft. So I don't have an HRC tester with me, but I would say that this is heat treated pretty well. But yeah, gorgeous knife. Still loving it. Still just really cool. So happy about that. All right, next up, let's go ahead and look at some Civivis. Starting off with the Civivi Voltaic. So this one, I haven't actually had this knife for very long compared to the others on this list. And this is an interesting knife. Is it a good knife? Yes, absolutely. I love that it's in 14C28N. I think the wood is really cool. I do like that it's kind of a frame lock with the wooden overlays. It is a good knife. I do enjoy carrying this. But it is kind of plain. It's a little bit boring. And I mean, these cost what, 75 bucks, something like that. It seems to me like Civivi isn't really bringing the value that they used to be so known for, and that is a shame. That is a shame to me. But saying that aside, this is a well-made knife. It does have the Civivi clip that I don't really like, but I could, you know, switch that for something if I really wanted to. I'm not sure if this knife will be sticking around. It stuck around for a while. I know my buddy Austin was telling me that he would take it off my hands, and I told him, okay, well, let me carry it for a little bit, get the review done, and maybe do a long-term review, and I'll get back to you. So it is a good knife. Again, I like carrying it. It's very easy to EDC. The 14C28N blade works really nicely. The action is very good. Just about cut my thumb off. But yeah, it's built very well. It is a very well-made knife. I would have much rather seen this come in at like the $60 price point, because there is more work that goes into this than a standard Civivi liner lock. I get that. This is a little more advanced, a little bit fancier. However, I don't think it's quite $75, right? I think this would have been much better at 60 bucks. Plus, it looks kind of generic Civivi. We'll get into that here in just a little bit, but you know, it is a good knife. It is a good knife. I do enjoy this knife. I do like the design, even though it's kind of plain and generic. I do like the design. I think it is a good-looking knife. but I don't think this is something that would be my first recommendation for anyone, really. If someone comes up to me and asks me, ooh, I'm looking for a Civivi, I don't think the Voltaic is going to be the first thing I think of. If someone comes up to me and says, ooh, I'm looking for a nice budget knife, I'm not going to recommend the Voltaic. If someone is like, hey, I'm looking for my first knife, I want something good, I'm not going to recommend the Voltaic. There's just a lot of other things that I point people towards first, including things in Civivi's own line. So, cool knife, but to me, it's nothing spectacular, right? Our next Civivi is one that looks very similar, and that is the Conspirator. This knife I like considerably more. It's much more comfortable in hand. The clip doesn't really bother me. It is a bigger knife. It's a button lock. I'm not the biggest button lock fan, but this one's okay. I have had a couple of issues where the button will get like seize up a little bit, but if you've had button locks for a while, you probably figured out tips and tricks for adjusting that. There's several things that can go wrong with button locks. I've had stuff like get down in the plunge that prevents it from being pushed and stuff, so you take it apart, clean it up. I've had things where the spring gets like a little bit sideways and that messes stuff up. Again, take it out, take it apart, see what's going on, but good knife. I do like that it has a reversible clip. It's a pretty ambi friendly knife. The action is really good. But this is I definitely recommend this one to someone before the Voltaic. It's a really good knife. I do like it a lot. The Nitro V steel, if you guys haven't seen my review of Nitro V is a steel that I didn't always love, and I still wouldn't say that Nitro V is like one of my absolute favorite steels, but after testing it with this knife, I like it a lot more, right? I think it's a little bit better than I gave it credit for at first. One of the things I didn't like about Nitro V was that it rusted a lot on me, but I think that was more due to the fact that I'd had it on so many Civivis that had bead blast on the blade, and just don't bead blast things. Companies should not be bead blasting anything these days. It's a bad idea. Stop. But, yeah. Very fidgety knife. Again, I like the full size of it. Something that Civivi used to do that I loved, and they don't do it very much anymore, is hollow grinds. They mostly do flat grinds. They still do a great job grinding, and this knife I probably would prefer to have a flat grind anyways, but like the Voltaic would have been a lot better with a hollow grind in my opinion. But yeah, this wide spear point blade, a flat grind works just fine. So yeah, the Conspirator is a good knife. I do kind of wish they had a version of this knife that was a frame lock or a liner lock, and honestly, there are some Wii or Civivi knives that would fit that bill that have almost exactly the same design, but no, good knife. I definitely recommend the coated version because of, don't get bead blast. Don't get bead blast. Alrighty, the last Civivi we're going to be taking a look at. This is a Civivi I've had for a while. I've had this one for a long time. I got this with a whole box of other Civivis, and a lot of those ones have gone. they're not around anymore, but this is the Civivi Baby Banter, and I love this knife. This is one of my favorite Civivis, if not my favorite. Actually, it's not my favorite, but it's close. I really do love this knife. Ben Pearson design. I've never owned a full-size Banter, but I've handled one, and I prefer this one. I prefer the Mini. This is such a good fifth pocket carry. If you're looking for a small knife, but you don't want to sacrifice ergonomics, this is the way to go. I love this little knife so much. I carry it all the time, and yeah, it's really something else. Very, very, very good knife. Nice spear point blade. Very easy to get to that tip. It's got a good blade for just general EDC tasks. We already talked. The ergonomics are great. The clip is really nice. I like this clip. The action's good. You can even front flip it if you really try hard. Ah, dang it. And in fact, if you really want to, you could probably cut in some jimping right there and make it even easier to the front flip. You just gotta get it just right. But yeah, really cool knife. I love carrying it. There's really not much to say. It's just really, really dang good. Get one if you haven't yet. And there's so many different versions of these out nowadays. It's, yeah, really, really good knife. Moving on to another knife that is pretty small, we have the Cold Steel Micro Engage. I love this knife. This is another one of my favorite small knives. I honestly got this knife because I thought it would be goofy, I thought it'd be funny, just kind of a meme knife, and I fell in love with it. As you guys will know if you've seen the review, it's just really dang good. It fits the hand so well. I mean, look at that. You can get all your fingers on there, put your thumb in the poon spoon, you're ready to go. It's very fidgety, it has an Atlas lock. Very, very fun knife to deal with. It is a better front flipper. But yeah, just really, really been impressed with this knife. They're not very expensive. They're a little bit overpriced. I've seen these going for like 45 to 47 bucks. That's an okay price. If you see them, like I've seen these on Amazon for like 65, don't pay that. That's just way too high. But it is a really nice knife and I do like it a whole lot. So yeah, this is a knife I continue to carry, continue to love. It's a good little knife. So, Cold Steel Micro Engage. We're moving along pretty quick. That's good. That's good. I'm not going to be too long-winded today. Next up, this is a knife that I have tried to sell a couple of times, and I don't know. No one bought it. I actually thought I got rid of it a while ago. Found it again. I was like, oh, I've still got you. Put it up for sale a couple places. No one was really biting. So I've been carrying it a lot recently. And that is the Artisan Cutlery Sirius. And honestly, I think I've started to like this knife more now than I did in the past. It is a really nice knife. It has that Ray Laconico simplistic style. This is, in fact, the only Ray Laconico I currently own. It's a very good design, very neutral ergonomics. It is a front flipper, but it also has a single thumb stud, so not a very lefty-friendly knife. But there's a lot I like about this. The G10 is done very well. I love the all black with the bronze pop of color on the pivot collar, titanium clip. The AR RPM 9 blade, kind of a spear point, very, very useful. There's a lot of good here. There is a lot of good here, and the action is pretty incredible. It's a really nice knife, especially since this version here you can pick up for 50 to 60 bucks. Yeah, it's a gentleman's knife on a budget. It feels very, very classy, very fancy. Honestly, it feels a lot more expensive than it is, which is always a good thing. There are some things that I don't really like the access to the lock bar, not very good, but you know, you adjust to it, you can get used to it. No, it's a cool little knife. I do like it a lot, and I'm glad that I've been giving it another chance. And yeah, I have kind of just been falling in love with it again. It's growing on me again. Probably going to keep it around. Yeah, really, really nice knife. Very, very just classy looking. I like the texturing on the G10. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so sticking with the Artisan theme, let's go ahead and move on to some budget stuff from CJRB. We're going to start off with the Caldera. This is a huge chunk of a knife. I had so much fun reviewing this. And I still love this knife. This is a knife that I use for food prep around the apartment. Big old cleaver, very unique knife. You know, this has a personality all of its own, and I love that. I love knives that are different and unique and just kind of breaking the mold, right? Ergonomics are very comfortable. Got a lot of different grips you can get in here. AR RPM 9 on the blade again. Love that steel. Nice and slicey, full flat grind. This thing is a cardboard destroyer. It's a veggie destroyer. Really, really fun knife. The action on mine could be better, but it's, you know, it's usable. Of course, you have the thumb hole. You can reverse flick it. It's called the Caldera. As a geologist, that just makes me happy. I love the geology themed CJRB stuff. But yeah, this is a really, really fun knife. I enjoy this knife a lot. Again, 55 bucks or so for these. That's a great deal for something unique yet usable. And that's something that I think is even better than just a unique design, is when it's unique and usable. Because anyone could make a knife that's like, oh wow, I've never seen that before. And it could be completely unusable because it's just a terrible, terrible design, right? Maybe it looks cool, but it doesn't function right. And that's why a lot of knives do look the same, right? Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Drop points are very usable blades, and a lot of drop points look the same. So a lot of knives have similar looks, right? People's hands, by and large, are pretty similar. So the ergonomic lines that work for one knife will work for another knife, for another hand, so on and so forth. So we get a lot of knives that look very derivative, very just similar. This knife stands out. It's got its own look, its own personality, and yet it is still 100% functional. And that's awesome to me. So CJRB Caldera, mwah, really nice knife. Another CJRB, the Pyrite. Ooh. Yeah, it's good. It's good, guys. This is my favorite button lock. I love the thumb stud button lock combination. The ergonomics feel so good. The action is really, really nice. It has a nice pop. Completely drop shutty. It feels a lot more expensive than it is. These steel brush scales are just done beautifully. The AR RPM 9 again. This is a knife that's pretty plain looking. This, like we're talking about, you know, it's a very knife shaped knife, but it works, right? There's a reason so many knives look like this, is because they just function, and this one absolutely functions. Very comfortable in hand, very good slicey blade. This is a joy to carry, this is a joy to use. It's at a really nice size for a lot of people, I think. I've heard they're coming out with an XL version. Curious to try that out. Of course, my version here I absolutely love, because, you know, it's the Pyrite, so I had to get the, you know, the golden version. Give it kind of that iron disulfide look. But yeah, really, really nice knife. Absolutely, you are going to be seeing this at the end of 2023 in my favorite knives of the year. Yeah. There's going to be other stuff that could, you know, be added to that list, but right now I can't see of anything kicking this knife off that list. I love this knife a lot. Probably the best budget knife that I've handled. That's new for 2023. Well, actually, I guess this came out in 2022, but I first got it in 2023. Whatever. All right. Another budget knife that's definitely going to be on my favorite budget knives of this year. The Divo Knives Growler. This is a really cool knife. If you've seen my review, you know that I just fell in love with this thing. Very unique blade, pretty much all belly. I would love to see a fixed blade of this. I think that would be an amazing outdoor knife. The ergonomics work out really well. The action is okay. Man, I really like this knife. This is a knife that sometimes, you know, you wake up in the morning and you're like, what am I going to carry today? Well, I don't know. And you take your morning shower, you brush your teeth, maybe, you know, eat some breakfast or something, and you're thinking, what am I going to carry today? And then by the time it's time for you to walk out the door and go to work, whatever, you haven't just made up your mind, so you just need to grab something. This is a knife that I grab a lot. This is a default EDC because I like it and I know it's gonna work. 14C 28N, black micarta, really just dang good knife. I really wondered how this big, broad, all-belly blade would behave in just regular EDC because it did fantastic with my outdoor testing. And honestly, it works great. This is another knife that I've used for food prep quite a bit because the edge is dropped a little bit below the scales. It's very easy to kind of get it down on a cutting board. Really cool knife from Divo. Like it a lot. And last up, this is a knife that I reviewed a long time ago. This is the Rough Ryder Reserve Swell Center Whittler. So this is a traditional slip joint, and slip joints are like having a heyday right now. Everyone's into slip joints, and my big slip joint phase was before the current slip joint phase. I got really into slip joints about a year ago, and I still want to get, there's a lot of slip joints that I really want to get. I want to get some of the Jack Wolf stuff. There's some new, like some of the slip joints from Real Steel I've been really interested in. But I just haven't got around to it because, well, the age-old problem, me want more than me can have, right? So, you know, I see a lot. And there's a lot of things that I want to get my hands on, but I just can't. Hopefully soon I'll get some more knives in for review. But this one here, fantastic knife. This is my favorite multi-bladed traditional knife. D2 steel on these guys. This one has the burlap micarta. They have one that's out now that I think has blue micarta, and it looks amazing. But there's so much I like about this knife. It's a big slip joint. It's a full-size knife, but I love the ergonomics, so comfortable, and I love that you can get up here and put your finger on this part of the blade that's not sharpened, and it won't close on you. It's a very safe slip joint. The walk and talk, that's what I'm talking about. Really nice there. The build quality is really good. They're affordable. The Rough Ryder Reserve line is really impressive to me, and there are so many Rough Ryder Reserve knives that I want to get and I want to try out because, yeah, I do love slip joints. I really do, and I don't review enough. I don't handle enough, and it's a shame. And really, there's no excuse, right? You know, when every so often I sit down, I'm like, okay, I need to make some purchases for the channel. What should I get? And a lot of times I'll end up with stuff like Civivis, where I'm like, I'm not really into this, but I know people will watch the videos. I need to start just, you know, getting more of the stuff that I'm into, right? So this knife here, though, absolutely excellent. Can't get enough of this. Actually gave my dad one of these for his birthday because, yeah, this is just a beautifully made knife. Honestly, this knife gives any case a run for its money. Absolutely. So, love that knife. Hopefully more slip joint content coming on this channel soon. I've got a couple of slip joints that I've been working on getting reviews done for, but they're not super high quality ones. So that's what we did for today's video, guys. Just a quick rundown of some of these knives, how my thoughts have changed or stayed the same over the time I've had them and continue to use them after the reviews. If you have any of these knives, I want to hear your thoughts on them. And yeah, if you like this video, leave it a like, comment below, and subscribe. I hope you have a great day. Until next time, I've been Gideon. Adios.